Classic Hits Rewind 100.7. Todd and Aaron here. Good morning. Okay, coolest thing ever. You get a phone call when you're about to go off Christmas, and they go, "Would you come in for an interview?" And you go, "No." And they go, "It's Derek Hough." "Okay, sure. What time?" "Because it's Derek Hough." "Hi, how are you?"
How you doing?
So they dragged you back into Utah for Christmas, or how are you here?
Oh, I willingly came. I'm always here for Christmas. It just doesn't feel right not to be in Utah for Christmas with the mountains and the snow and the family. So it's good to be home.
Now, are every single one of the siblings here, or how do you guys manage that?
Pretty much. I mean, we have a big family,
Yes, you
big
do.
extended family, and lots of nieces and nephews. And for me, I love being an uncle, and so I love seeing them and spoiling them, and just it's the greatest.
And then after you stuff them full of candy, you send them back to their parents.
Exactly.
And,
I'm like, I love them so much, and then I'm like, and here they are back. Bye.
Yeah, that was really fun. I think that one needs a change.
Exactly.
Do you have any weird traditions or anything you guys do?
One of the traditions we do is we normally go ice skating on Christmas Eve, and
that's fun.
We do Venezuelan. My oldest sister does a Venezuelan dinner.
Why Venezuelan?
You
picked it out of thin air, or you guys like Venezuelan?
Because her
food?
husband went on a mission.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it became like a tradition for them. So we share that with them as well, and. But yeah, we all we dance. We dance in the kitchen, in the living room.
With your family, it's almost probably like a law, isn't it? Like you're going to have to dance at some point.
Well, what's funny is I probably dance the least, actually, of all of them. My oldest sister and all of them go crazy, and they're dancing around and being nuts, breaking things, and but it's fun. It's fun.
Well, you have to admit though, when you dance for work, and even though it's a joyful, wonderful thing, it's like I don't want to dance anymore. I'm just going to sit here and watch you. It's
fun to see them. It's fun to watch them. Just because they have so much energy and just they're just it's like a hurricane. It's a beautiful hurricane.
That is the prettiest thing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous. Now I've got to ask: is there one person who has a lead foot? Because it's awful. It would be like being in the Osmonds and not being able to sing. Is there one that just?
You know what? They're all natural. They all can move.
That's a relief.
But I think one of my sisters, she's more like. She does it like she's funny. Like she does the catwalk and just kind of looks silly. But Maribeth. But no, they're all great. They're all so talented and wonderful and beautiful, and I love seeing them.
The last Dancing with the Stars season was really emotional, just because of Bindi Irwin, and she's dealing with a lot of emotional issues with her dad, and she's really young. And I know you've had young partners before, but did you go into that one going, "This might be a little intense"?
I was actually excited. I was really excited because I was a big fan of his. I'd watch the show, and he was somebody I actually looked up to as far as energy. I was like, wow, this guy's really passionate.
I know, didn't the first time you heard him and you looked at him, you're like, are you nuts? But he was awesome.
Oh, it was just like, I was like, wow, I want to have that passion. I want to have that energy in life, and then to work with his, daughters, it was amazing. She's such a special girl, so unique, so just special, man. It's hard to put into words, how wonderful she is.
Oh, now, after winning 6 times, it's obvious that you probably get a sense probably pretty early on and how the season's going to go. It's like, you ruled it enough times. Do you get that sense early on with someone you're working with that, this is going to be awesome, or we're not going to make it to the end?
Yeah, I suppose you do get a feeling, but it's more. Going into this season, I really went into the season with no expectations of wanting. I wasn't like I really want to do well this season. I want to win. And
yeah, you've already shown what you could do.
I was just like, I just want to have a great time, and I want to have a great time with my partner. And I met her, and I was like, oh, we're gonna have such a wonderful time, beautiful time. And for me, my favorite part is to be able to tell a story. And she had such a beautiful and compelling story, and to be able to translate that into dance, for choreographers is amazing. Because when you have something to work with, that that has emotion behind it, that has truth to it, that has authenticity. It really makes the dances come alive, and that's a gift. And so I was just really grateful for that gift.
It's interesting because I don't think people always know what kind of effort goes into the choreography, because it's obvious that you're incredibly skilled, but you're dealing with someone who's inexperienced, and you're doing it. Most choreographers have some time. If they're doing a movie or a music video, they have some time to think about it. How much time do you get to choreograph a piece?
Well, that's the thing. We get really no time. I mean, it's 8 days a week, I say. When you're on that show, it's a full-time job, and even when you're not in the studio, you're still thinking, you're still working.
Oh, I can imagine.
But for me, it's funny because I actually learned that the less time I have, sometimes the better I do, because you don't have time to get in your own way. You know, you don't have time to second guess yourself. You just have to go with it. You just have to go, and you go act on instinct, and that's when you start to come up with the best stuff. And you know, for me, sometimes when I take too much time is when I start to get in my own way. So.
And then you're nervous, like, no, I don't like that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, constantly. By the way, constantly. There's a dialogue happening, a war happening inside all the time. Yeah.
I've heard you're notorious for being perfectionistic, and so that really is it's an awesome thing, but it's a kind of a challenge when you're trying to do a last minute piece.
Yeah. Well, you know what's actually funny? I learned something not long ago, which was a saying that actually really helped me, and it was you know, perfection doesn't exist. You know, it's actually the lowest standard you could have because it doesn't exist. And so for me, I was like, I'm a perfectionist. I was so proud of myself because I was a perfectionist. But the problem is that's a low standard to have because it's unattainable.
Good
so you're
point.
Constantly going to be upset and constantly going to feel down on yourself because you're never going to achieve perfection. Therefore, you're never going to be satisfied. And so for me, I realized that. I was like, oh, you know what? Perfection is not the standard to have.
So what did you readjust? I mean, how did you readjust your thinking? What did you go to as a standard?
For me, it's more about just being honest and being true and really just feeling it and being okay if it's not perfect, because the perfection lies in the imperfections. It lies in that moment where, you know, you mess up a little bit, but for some reason it created something special. It created something unique and something different and once in a lifetime, you know. So for me, it's more about just enjoying the moment of it and not the perfection of it.
That is really cool. I think you might have saved a lot of people's sanity just with that simple, I mean, seriously, because that's something that we all try to do, and you're right, it's unattainable.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I prided myself on that. I was like, I'm a perfectionist. That's just the way I am. And I was like so proud of that. And then I realized that I was never truly satisfied. I was never really fully content with things I did and things I worked on, and I wouldn't really kind of give myself credit for it, and because it was never perfect. And but then when you start realizing that the perfection lies in just the moments and the emotion and the experience, and it can feel any way, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That's perfect.
And then there's satisfaction and there's peace. That's really beautiful. Now, if you're just joining us here on Rewind 100.7, we are talking to Derek Hough, obviously Dancing with the Stars. He's Utah homegrown, so we love him. He's here in town for Christmas, and we're going to tell you how you can meet him and get his new book in just a second. So when you're choreographing, do you have like certain inspirations that you go to? Do you I mean, obviously you're doing a million different eras and different styles, but are there 3 or 4 that are always kind of go-to for you, that you always pull a move or a style?
Oh yeah. We all have our like go-to moves for sure. And I'm sure if you like look back at all our routines, you're like, oh, there's that move again. There's that move again. There's that move. You know, it's kind of like a library. You know, that's what I learned as a because I wasn't a choreographer. You know, I went on that show and I kind of was like faking it until I became it, really. And well, you just start to learn things. You pick up things and you start to kind of obtain this sort of library of movement and ideas and lifts and tricks and then you start to sort of apply those to, you know, music and then to a situation or a story. And but you know, I don't know. Growing up, I was always like a turner. I loved turning, so for me, I was like, I'll throw a turn in here. Let's do a turn there. But yeah,
that's so much fun. In terms of the part of your career where you're kind of wondering what you want to do next and where you can go, because you are in a great position. You've already proven yourself. It's not like you have to prove anything. Everyone knows how talented you are. Is there something you want to do next that you've never tried before that's kind of scaring you?
There's definitely some projects in the future that.
Ooh, listen to the careful tone, Derek's careful tone.
No, there are some things, you know, some possible Broadway ideas happening, and
fun.
But I just kind of, you know, up in the air right now. But also, you know, music for me too, because dancing for me, expressing yourself, you know, through movement, through dance, choreography, whatever it is. And I also sing as well and play music. I haven't really done music for a while, and I would love to do that just as like a passion project, to create, you know, some great music, some cool videos with dancing in them, and you know, to direct some stuff as well.
Ooh, you could finally be in charge of everybody else for a change. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, you kind of already are as a choreographer. That's true. That's the thing, is as a choreographer, you kind of are you're a director. You're a director of movement, but also you work with the camera operators and things like that, and so for me to be able to actually tell like a story with dialogue and things like that, and be a part of that would be cool. So those are things like, in the future, and but things I have my eyes on. So
you've noodled around with music before, but you didn't really get a lot of time to really pursue it, and you have to have that to kind of set a ground.
Absolutely.
A little.
Well, the thing is, I always did music growing up, but it was and we did do some music briefly, but
that was right at the peak where you were so entrenched that you really didn't get a chance to explore it as much as you might have liked.
Yeah, and also you grow as a person. You grow as a person. You change a lot as a person. You develop. You evolve. And I know for me, just for me as a person, I'm so different than I was then. Like probably a completely different person. And to create music from this place and to create from this place that I'm in now. Would be just very different. It would just be so much more authentic and so much more real, and just more of just like a passion, more of a passion project.
Are you thinking more like country, like Julianne's done, or would you rather do something that no one would possibly expect from you, like ever?
Honestly, my stuff is more. Again, like I don't even know if it's something that I would ever release. It's something that I would just want to do. You know what I mean? And do some.
You could do it like Wu-Tang and sell it. A single album for $2 million. You get the one album Derek Hough's never going to release for $2 million.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know, but we'll see. These are all things that it's really just following your bliss, and music definitely is part of my life that I love, and I can't live without music. I mean, it's being a dancer, it's the first thing.
It's life. Yeah, it's everything. It lights up every area of your brain. It probably stimulates everything else that you want to do with your art.
Absolutely. So I don't even know if it would be something that commercial, but it definitely for me would be something that it would light me up.
I totally kind of want to hear it now. I'm dying to hear just what would come out of your brain. All right, Derek's dad is looking pointedly at his watch, so we better hurry. Yes, Derek Hough. Well, no, I understand. You guys are busy. You've been trapped here a while.
No, it's good.
Derek Hough, of course, from Dancing with the Stars and a myriad of other projects. He's also in town, not only just celebrating Christmas, but his sister is opening up a brand new salon. Now, this is really cool, Skin by Katherine. Yeah. And you're actually going to be appearing there 4 to 6 on December 30th. That's a Wednesday, December 30th, 4 to 6.
Well, actually, what it is I'm gonna give them an autographed book, and we'll take photos and stuff like that. If they book
a session?
Services from my sister.
Ah, okay.
So it's sort of like one of those. It's gonna be great. For Katherine. My sister Katherine, she is phenomenal. She puts so much love into what she does, and it really makes a huge difference.
I've seen her do it. She's a sweetheart.
She is so incredible, and I don't know. I really want people to experience it, because I know for me, like, skin's important. In our line of work, being on TV and all these different things, and so. I get facials and things like that, but with her, it's something else. It truly is an experience, and I want people to experience, it from her.
Okay, now we're going to give you all the details. All you have to do is go to rewind1007.com. You can find out how to meet Derek, how to hook up with his sister Katherine, who is made of awesome. Wait till you see some of her stuff. And this is going to be December 30th, 4 to 6. One thing that's kind of interesting, everyone's going to be asking you why you're not married yet. Do you have a girlfriend? Do you want to clear any of that up now, so I can just kind of play it on a loop over and over at the actual appearance? Just
oh my goodness, yeah, sure. No. I'm single right now, and I think for me, I've been sort of on this. This beautiful journey. It's been amazing.
I know, but you have a gigantic Mormon family, and you can't tell me that every one of your aunts has pinned you down by the neck and went, "Why aren't you married yet?" I mean, you've got to have the pressure.
But you know what? I think you need to be available to be in a relationship, and I think for right now, I've been very consumed with projects and life and work and I don't know. There's a time and place for everything, I think, and I think that time is. I'm not in a rush, I think when it happens, and I want to make sure it's the right thing. I
did hear a wonderful joke. It was, I think it was Jay Leno, when he was actually talking about you and Julianne and saying, jeans that perfect really should be sold off to the highest bidder, because they figured your kids were going to be that talented and that amazing. So there's some pressure there. You got to find a girl who's going to fit in with that kind of, genetic pressure.
Also, it's funny too, having 4 sisters too. You know what I mean? Like, it's some funny.
You've been beaten into submission. You understand women better than anyone at this point, I'm sure. Of it.
I won't say that. I won't say that. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, ladies, you have been a good girl this year. Santa Claus is coming. It's just going to be a little bit after Christmas, because you get to meet Derek. Once again, Wednesday, it's December 30th. It's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. at Skin by Katherine. Please go to rewind1007.com. You can find all the information there. This is going to be so awesome. Do you think he's going to need police protection? Should I get a bodyguard, Dad?
No.
You should.
we'll have a nice little dance. We'll all dance together. We'll have a good time.
Oh, that'll be so fun. All right, ladies, you heard it here first. And husbands who would really like to get her what she wanted for Christmas, this might be a good time to show up. Derek, thank you so much. This has been really fun.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's